Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here. Today I'm taking a look at my top 5 original themes in games coming out at Essen 2016. And what I'm talking about here is games that I think are not just completely off the wall, but also games that I find underutilized. Maybe they've been seen before, but for some reason they just do not get used as much. And so they are criminally underrepresented, and I thought they deserve a spot here on my little list. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I also want to mention that I have not played any of these games, so I am going based solely on what I can find out online, which is not much at this point. The games might end up being games I don't particularly enjoy. They might end up even being games that are not at the Essen Fair. So, take everything I say with a grain of salt, of course. There are also games that we did not, and by we I mean myself and Mr. Tom Vassell, Mr. Sam Healy, games we did not feature in our top 10 games we are most looking forward to at Essen 2016, because I wanted no crossover. So I wanted this to be 5 more games that, a chance to talk about something I did not get to talk about in that list. So that's basically it. Let's kick it off with my number 5. Here we go. My number 5 is Dream House from publisher Rebel PL and other publishers, a few other publishers, and designer Clemens Kaliki. Dream House is about building a house, and it's a very colorful game. It's a very attractive looking game. Seems like a solid family style endeavor, and this concept of building a house room by room, seeing who's got the best home at the end of the game based on whatever scoring qualifications are in the game, is one that's been seen before, but just not enough. I mean, the last game I can think of off the top of my head that did this is a game from Michael Schott called California. And that game came out a solid decade ago at least. I'm sure there's been others, and I'm forgetting, and tell me in the comments if I am forgetting some that are more obvious. But I think it's such an approachable theme. It's a theme everybody can easily get into. You understand the concept. You understand your motivation in that game, and it just is approachable, and I really like that. And you don't need any crazy monsters or dark fantastic themes or anything, nothing weird. I mean, it's about building a house, and I like that. And so this is one I am looking forward to getting my eyes on, and one that I could see myself putting into rotation as a gateway game for folks who are not into gaming yet, if it's a good weight family game, because that theme is so easy to teach to folks. They will get it. And I like that a lot. So my number 5 is Dream House. My number 4 is a game called Peter and the Grown-Ups, and this is from publisher Plan Play and designer Dario Massa, and in it, all of the grown-ups are transported to Peter Pan's Neverland. You have been whisked away, and you are all going to be drawing tiles and taking an action with that tile, doing whatever the tile says. Or maybe not. You can bluff, and so the game is a bluffing game in which you, the theme is, are trying to fit in and pass as one of the kids in Neverland. And that's a really cool concept. Now, the bluffing part of it, I don't know. It's been seen before. There are lots of games that do that whole draw thing or have a hand of cards, play a card face down or take an action, which you are allowed, quote-unquote, to take, but maybe you're bluffing, right? So I'm not sure about that aspect. I hope it's cool. The game looks real good from the pictures I've seen online. But the theme, that's a neat theme. And not one that I've seen before that I can think of, and so I really like that. And I like when an original concept like that, even when the gameplay is perhaps not innovative, when the theme is new, it elevates that game to at least a little bit. And I like that a lot. So, my number 4 is Peter and the Grown-Ups. My number 3 is a game called Raise Your Goblets from Horrible Games, and Cool Mini or Not, I think is publishing it as well. This is from designer Tim Page, and in it, all the players are sitting around a big banquet table at a castle or something like that with the king and the guests, and you are all drinking. But evil's afoot, and some of the players are trying to, there's poison being passed around, and so the game has actual little goblets into which it sounds like things are going to get thrown in there that represent poison, represent wine, and represent antidote. And so you are on your turn going to be exchanging your goblet with someone, passing the goblets to the left, passing them to the right, adding something into a goblet. And at the end of the game, when someone says, once you've gotten rid of your tokens and you say, okay, let's drink, then everybody gets one more turn and everybody has to drink whatever's in front of them and hope you don't die. That's it. But the atmosphere that I think this game is going for is a very interesting one, and that's why I like the theme so much. This is not necessarily a theme that has not been seen before. I just don't think it's been implemented this much before, where they went through the trouble of having goblets and having that, merry atmosphere with everyone sitting around and laughing and cheering and throwing their goblets about and all of that. And I'm hoping that the gameplay will match that vibe that I think the theme is going for. I'm very excited to check this one out. And so that is my number 3, Raise Your Goblets. My number 2 is a game called Topoum from Looping Games and designer Perepau Listoseya. And this one is a game in which it looks like a war game. The first illustrations of it I saw looked like cartoon moles going to war. And that's what the theme is. And the game revolves around having a board that gets built out with hexes and having your moles, through card play, take over the other moles' spots, control territory, all of those things. That's what it looks like anyway. The artwork is very attractive, and it's, as I said, cartoony, and it really pops. It's a beautiful looking game. The board, from what I've seen, looks okay. I'm not sure if what I saw was prototype board pieces or not, but it sort of has a, hey, that's my fish vibe to it, with the little moles, wooden, little meeples moving and sitting on little tiles and such, hexagonal tiles. But the theme is really cool, and I love this concept of mashing up a war theme with a silly topic like moles being the ones who are fighting. And it just looks really cute. And so I'm excited to check that one out. I'm curious, as of right now, I'm sort of tentatively curious about whether it's going to land more in the silly camp or in the serious wargamey kind of camp with a silly coat on top. I'm hoping for the former, by the way, but it sounds really neat, and I definitely like the theme of it, so that is my number 2, Topoum. And finally, my number 1 pick is for a game called Chromosome from publisher Cube Factory of Ideas and designer Marcin Danes. I think I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying that right. And in this one, all of the players are alien viruses, and you are, I think that's right, and you are trying to survive in a laboratory environment. That seems to be the theme, and so you've been captured, I guess, for lack of a better term, and you are being tested or like experimented upon, and you are trying to survive, escape. That's it. That seems to be the theme, and that's really cool, and that's very interesting. I love when games do either this microscopic look at something or macroscopic look at something, and this one obviously being a microscopic look at not just a virus, but an alien virus, and whatever that's going to imply in the game, I'm not sure, but I'm very intrigued by it. It could be really cool, and so I hope that the gameplay itself lives up to how creative and neat that theme could be, and what a cool point of view they chose to go with, because it could have easily been we, scientists, studying an alien virus. But that's not it. We are the virus. Or each one of us is one virus. I'm not sure how that works. And so the point of view is reversed as to what you would expect. Really digging that concept. And that's it. That is my number 1 chromosome. And that wraps up my top 5 games that I'm looking forward to with a cool or an original theme coming out at Essen 2016. If you are going to be at Essen 2016, please stop by our booth. Come on over, say hello to us. And I hope you have a great time there. I will see you all real soon.